Now, you said dewdrop in, and they would think juke joint.
One of the last juke joints, no doubt about it. You don't find places like this more or less anywhere. We're in a rural community, down some back road. You got to know how to get here. You got to know when it's open.
It was always, we call it a jumping place, juke joint, but it was a nice juke joint.
Well, I'd say it's an old roadhouse, an old juke joint kind of place that has a lot of history.
That was me, man. Give it up for Miss Jane. Oh! Yes.
Everybody calls me Mama Jane because that's what I wanted them to call me and feel at home. This is where my father and mother would like for us to be and like for us to be doing with the Dewdrop Inn. So this is their dream.
Well, you know, I think about the struggles. Granny and Lloyd didn't give up. They were impactful in the community as entrepreneurs, some of the first business owners. And no matter what those obstacles were, they overcame them. And the Dewdrop is still standing because of their persistence.
I remember when my grandfather was building it day by day. He was a hard-working man. He worked for one job to come here and do a little part every day.
I was quite young when it first started in '68, but it means a whole lot to us. We used to come and help our grandfather after school in the evenings.
And of course, Daddy was a carpenter by trade.
I can remember when we were young and we wanted to go out and play, but he needed us to help him, you know, to get the boards in line and pull nails out just to get the place going.
Oh, the food was delicious. Oh my God. Granny, I'm telling you, she could cook some food. Oh.
Mama used to work she was a domestic worker, used to work in the field. She would come home and cook out and like peel potatoes, make potato salad, make hamburgers, the pig feet and the chitlins and all those kinds of things. So she worked very hard here to have home-cooked soul food, so to speak.
I remember the smell of onions and peppers and fried chicken and just home-cooked food.
And they come in with a cooked chicken and bread it like it was supposed to be and everything. And then brown it real nice, you know, and that's why they like it, so good flavored up.
In the earlier years, it was the jukebox. So you could put your money in and hear music forever, inexpensively. As the years progressed with people wanting to hear bands, then bands came.
The CURATE family was a big part of this room.
That's all right.
And she started telling me about Off the Big Board CURATE, some things I didn't know. She said he played here. I said, do you know the first song that Elvis ever did? Off the Big Board CURATE, That's All Right, Mom. I said, no, I didn't know all that. And I said, Off the Big Board CURATE played here. I said, what about Black Elvis getting a corner there? She said, a corner? She said, yeah, okay, I don't care.
That's all right now, Mama.
I'm in my happy place. I'm sitting on the dance floor at the Dewdrop Inn where you can see the floor's worn and every little scuff and gum and cigarette burn tells a story. I have friends that are pretty famous blues players and they always said, I'd like to work that room, like to be here because it's the real thing.
That's all right now, Mama.
Oh, it's a great place. It's everybody comes here. It's super friendly. People here appreciate the music. They listen, they dance. It's one of the best places to play.
When you come home, baby, write me a few of your lines. As a musician, you want to communicate your music with people. They're the other part of the quotient of having a good night. I call it going to church, where the audience is either dancing or listening. They're part of it.
The place had to change with the times, the demands of the community and the needs of the community. So it was not about just fun anymore. It was educating people about health and political issues and community involvement.
Jane has created this community here, and she continues to with her Martin Luther King annual community breakfast that we have at the high school, with the Juneteenth festival, and then with the events here at the Dewdrop.
So the Dewdrop Inn has actually become a little bit of an institution. I've come here for dances, banquets, conferences, seminars, board of supervisors, debates, and this had become the community center, particularly for Northampton County, because we didn't have a place to do those types of things.
These are my big babies.
Big babies.
These are my, the students have an opportunity to volunteer where they want to come. The students put down that they want to come to Weirwood.
She would always welcome them to the Dewdrop Inn, sleep them at the Dewdrop Inn, and you know, trying to help the community as a service-oriented place to be.
And what I tell them in my talk and my reflections to them is, I hope you get something from here this week that you'll be able to use through life. And if you stumble and fall, get up and go again. A rose, Black Elvis rose, for feeling that way about sitting in the chair. Wow. So Mama really.
Thank you, Mama. Come here. We got to go to a school, an elementary school, and we got to, every single kid here got to go to a classroom and kind of serve as an assistant teacher for the day with a lot of kids, and that was really cool. That was definitely the coolest part for me.
There was like one little boy who just clung to me, and I think like I'll probably remember him the rest of my life. When I left, I was literally crying, just because there's like, you know, there's so much love, and also there's such a need for, you know, people to also give. You know, I'll remember for the rest of my life is spending time with those kids, and it's so nice that Mama Jane allows us to stay here and gives us opportunities like that.
When you come to the Virginia Eastern Shore, Jane Cabarrus' name is the one that they tell you to connect with. When you want to find the community, the Dewdrop Inn was a place to meet the community.
23 years ago, the community was in understandable uproar about the state had decided to locate a maximum security prison in the Lower Shore, and they were placing it right in the middle of an African-American community. And Janie was a big part of pulling the communities together. And we came in here and we all just celebrated. I get goosebumps thinking about, you know, coming together and getting to know each other better, and knowing that we had the same hopes and fears and dreams for our children. To me, it was an amazing time. And Janie and the Dewdrop Inn were right in the center of that.
As soon as you walk in, the warmth of this place, it just attracts you right away.
I think what's so memorable about the Dewdrop is the sense of community you feel when you come here.
Because my dad and parents in the 60s built this building, and they would be so proud looking down at all of us together, having fun, eating together round the tables.
Ms. Cabarrus has done a wonderful job of doing things to bring this community together. And the gathering place has always been the Dewdrop Inn. So we gotta overlook the facade of the facility and look at the soul within the building, because it has done a lot of great things for this community.
Let me tell you about a girl I know. She's my baby and she lives next door. Every morning when the sun comes up, she pours me coffee in my favorite cup. How I know, oh I know, hallelujah, I just love her so. Every time when I have no friends, she'll be there to the very end. My friends ask me how I know so. I said, she be like, Billy boy, I told you so.